have prepared this film, The Land Beyond the Peace, to show just a few of the reasons why this vast new area holds such great promise for the future. This infant empire is a land of varied and bountiful resources, a surpassingly beautiful land with a vigorous, healthy climate. The land beyond the Peace. The Peace River forms the southern boundary of this area indicated on the map. The town of Fort St. John, British Columbia, is on the north bank of the Peace River. Agriculture is our greatest industry, and no wonder, for here is a land that has never known a crop failure. The per acre yield of grain from this rich soil is high, averaging 37 bushels for wheat and 65 bushels for oats. Perhaps you think that a farm up in this country means a log cabin set in the center of a small clearing, with the wilderness pressing in from all sides. That isn't the case today. The hardy pioneering days have been left far behind, and now our fields of waving grain stretch for miles. Many of our farmers are equipped with the very latest in farm machinery. No wonder this country is called the breadbasket of the North. Alfalfa is also grown with much success. This 90-acre field, only a short distance from Fort St. John, produced 54,000 pounds of seed in a single season, and that's pretty good growing in any country. The right kind of soil, plenty of sunshine and rain, results in excellent alfalfa, and lots of it. But no matter which crops you want to raise, there's space to grow them up here. Over 10 million acres of fine agricultural land north of the Peace River is waiting to be worked. Much of it is open land, requiring very little clearing. But when it does need clearing, here's how we do it. The back-breaking methods of other years are only a memory, for this giant brush cutter does the job quickly, efficiently, and inexpensively, clearing an average of 3 acres per hour. The machine piles the brush and trees in neat windrows to be burned. The land is then ready for the breaking plow. With our fertile soil and our long sunny summer days, just about everything grows. You'd travel a long way to find finer vegetables than these, and it won't be long before the women folk are busy canning and filling the basement bins. There's always plenty to last the whole year round, with some to spare. To show that things really grow fast up here, this sunflower grew to a height of 10 feet in just 3 months. If you like to raise flowers, and who doesn't, or if you're not content with the many wildflowers that bloom here, you could have a garden like this. The land beyond the Peace is ideally suited to livestock raising, ranching, and dairying. This herd of purebred Herefords is only one of the many that thrive on our lush pasture lands. You might be surprised to learn that in a country as far north as ours, a herd of horses could range out through the entire winter. Yet it's a fact that most of our horses don't see the inside of a barn from fall until spring. Hogs are always in demand and always profitable. Although our agricultural efforts at the present are more or less concentrated on grain crops, we already ship an average of 28,000 hogs per year from north of the Peace River. Our farms have passed the crude pioneering stage, and the countryside is already dotted with fine new buildings like this one. Wherever one turns in the land beyond the Peace is opportunity. Just as our millions of acres of agricultural land invite the farmer, the rancher, and the dairyman, so our extensive forests offer a challenge to the pulp producer and the lumberman. While the newspaper presses of the world cry desperately for paper, our vast supply of pulpwood is waiting, ready to answer the call. Local mills are busy producing lumber, which the nation needs so badly. And speaking of timber, one of our nation's greatest resources, may we warn Canadians everywhere, don't let this happen to our forests. Like all of our industries, mining too is in its infancy, for literally speaking, the surface has scarcely been scratched. However, we do know that there is coal, and plenty of it. Here at Hudson Hope, it is now being mined on a relatively small scale, but when the rail lines come in, this rich area will be ready to supply the nation with millions of tons annually. There are over 2.5 billion tons of coal in the Hudson Hope and Carbon River areas alone, with other coal-bearing areas close by. As to quality, this coal compares favorably with the best on the continent, having an ash content of less than 4% and producing 14,250 BTUs. No one knows the true extent of the minerals that lie along our rivers and streams or are locked within these hills. Besides coal, we do know that there is gold, silver, copper, lead, and perhaps a dozen other minerals, all awaiting the prospector's pick and the geologist's hammer. And here in the magnificent canyon of our own Peace River is the hydroelectric energy to turn the wheels of our future industries. At this point, the churning waters of the Peace are capable of producing 152,000 horsepower the year round, enough electrical energy to light, heat, and power a city of 1 million people. Now for the motoring thrill of your lifetime. A trip over the most famous road in the world, the Alaska Highway. The highway starts at Dawson Creek, our neighboring town to the south, and crosses the Peace River on this beautiful suspension bridge. This famous bridge, a vital link in a military highway, was built in the remarkably short space of 9 months. It has now become a gateway, the threshold of a new land. The 1,600-mile Alaska Highway runs from Dawson Creek through Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, Watson Lake, west and north to Whitehorse, and northwest 600 miles to Fairbanks, Alaska. The Alaska Highway is unique among highways of the world. At a time when the security of the entire continent was threatened, Canadians joined hands with engineers of the U.S. Army to push this 1,600-mile lifeline through the wilderness of the Northwest in record time. Once locked in primeval silence, seen only by the occasional Indian or trapper, the beauty of this virgin wilderness may now be seen from your own automobile. All very well, you say, but where do we get gas for our cars? And more important, where and when do we eat? Gasoline stations and restaurants operate on the Alaska Highway at convenient distances, and their facilities are available year-round. So in planning your trip, don't let this problem worry you. Maintenance crews and machinery are constantly on the alert to keep the highway in good condition in all seasons. For those of you who are prepared for something new and exciting, we heartily endorse a trip over the Alaska Highway in wintertime. For winter adds enchantment to scenery that is beautiful at all times. In winter, as in summer, gas stations and restaurants are open to serve you. If you don't care to drive your own car, you may travel the entire length of the highway in a streamlined bus like this. These large commercial vehicles, as well as private cars, travel the highway through all the seasons. When the rivers and streams and forests of our land lie silently blanketed with snow, another great industry comes into its own, the fur trade. All through the winter months, the trapper and his faithful dogs are on the move, gathering the rich pelts whose quality and abundance are world famous. This gray fur is a wolf. Just a little fellow, the trapper told us. When Madame, in some far-off city, proudly displays these superb marten furs, she can thank our trappers for having supplied them. To the trapper, we in this land owe much. It was this intrepid and adventurous man who blazed the trails which we now travel with our automobiles and trucks. It was he who told us of the fertile soil and the wealth of minerals and the excellent climate. He was the real pioneer. He was here first. If ever there was a country attractive to sportsmen, it is here beyond the Peace. The fishing is fabulous, and the big game second to none on the continent. The hunter is sure of a full bag, be it grizzly bear, mountain sheep, or moose. Of course, they're not all as tame as this moose calf, which was adopted by the citizens of Hudson Hope. Now let's look at Fort St. John, the busy center of this northern land. A little rough, perhaps, like all frontier towns, but lacking few of the facilities of larger cities. Our stores are large and modern. Their shelves well stocked with just about everything you could buy elsewhere in Canada. They're a far cry from the log trading post of bygone years. We have 4 hotels in Fort St. John, all of them clean and comfortable. This is the press room of our widely read Alaska Highway News. We have churches of all leading denominations and ample school facilities. 26 country schools such as this operate in the Fort St. John area alone. Our several well-equipped garages offer service on a par with that obtainable in most cities. Very important in the life of any community is a good hospital. This 35-bed hospital in Fort St. John provides the very best in medical care. In addition to being on the Alaska Highway, Fort St. John is the center of a network of airlines. The airport is just outside the town. And now for the lighter side of life. There's plenty of work, of course. There's lots of fun, too. Each year, fans by the thousands come to our annual stampede at these beautiful grounds, almost in the shadow of the Peace River Bridge, to watch the bronc busters, the chariot racers, and the beautiful cowgirls. Golf has become a popular sport. Sport doesn't stop in the wintertime either. Only a short distance from town, you'll find some of the finest ski hills in Western Canada. We predict that very soon Fort St. John will become a mecca for winter sport enthusiasts. There are always those who prefer the gentler sports of winter, and we can satisfy them too. And when the toil of planting and reaping is behind for another year, the whole country joins in the celebration of our harvest festival. The merchants in town and the country folk together stage this colorful parade. The celebration goes on throughout the day and far into the night, a wholesome, homely expression of joy and thanksgiving for the things a bountiful land has given. we have our fun, we are still aware of the work that remains to be done in this land of ours. There are new fields to be tilled, and forests to be felled, and minerals to be taken from the earth. There are homes and cities to be built. There is need for many willing hands to share in the work of building this new empire in the land beyond the peace.